We have a couple people who can't be with us today. David Bolin is indisposed. Have not heard from Christine. Who else are we missing?
Valerie,
And Valerie. Is she able to attend?
I have not heard that she's not.
Then she's just running behind.
She might be.
Yeah, we're missing Andrew and Dennis.
Andrew and Dennis,
Spirit
not you.
that's running it.
Okay, well, they may drift right in. So, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda for the regular meeting minutes?
I will make that motion to approve.
Okay, that does not, of course, include the budget.
Correct.
And do we have May and June meeting minutes
I
on
put
this
May in
one?
there because then look, we'd had a motion to pass the consent agenda and then, excuse me, I don't know how to turn that off. And then we didn't actually come back and
Okay,
we
well, we're
kind of
approving
missed
both
it,
of them right
so
now. So do we have a director report,
we do.
please?
We do, and I had it here just one moment ago. Here we are. Okay. For downtown businesses, we've got 204 East 14 Mile. We're still waiting for a certificate of occupancy from Cloverleaf Pizza. They got their sign up in May, but I understand they were opening two places at one time, and maybe they were just focusing on the first one. So they're, to my knowledge, it's not that they're not opening, it's just being delayed, so. Cloverleaf, coming soon. 12 Church Avenue, we have a initial business license that was filed for Pure Roots Wellness. So they'll be over there on Church Street by Body by Juliana. 24 East 14 Mile continues their second-story renovations. 139 West 14, which is Mangiamo, is planning on a mid-August opening. She's going to open with friends and family in the first week in August and then have a regular opening after that. 76 to 84 West 14 Mile, which is the former Limbs Palace. Building permits have issued to begin renovations there, which is always a good thing to see a new building. Clausen Shoe Repair, I don't know if anyone noticed, but it's sporting a new paint job.
It looks fabulous.
It does. Yeah, nice, the colors look good. I was not sad to see the paint go.
It's great. It looks bright and shiny, but still has that retro feel we have all enjoyed so much.
I was
Yes.
there yesterday and complimented them on the paint job, and they were happy to hear that because
Yeah,
they did
yeah,
it
I stopped
themselves.
in last week.
I go, wow, okay.
Nice guys. In other development, the mixed-use development at 516 North Main across the street here continues. The Elliott Park Apartments on Rochester Road have received final inspections for additional completed units. So I think it's at least a dozen now that have their final inspections. The townhome development that received site plan approval between Florence and High Street, west of East 14 Mile, behind Noor, is temporarily on hold while construction costs for material and labor due to COVID are being evaluated. So he still plans to go ahead as far as he has indicated. It's just that waiting to see how things are going to level out. On Main Street end, the second quarter stats will be completed and turned in by the July end of July deadline. They're due every quarter. Annika, I sent something to the administration asking for Annika Norris to make a presentation for our accreditation. They do that in every community before their council or village administration or whatever board is active there in that community. Because we did not get our plaque. So that is 10 years running that we have been accredited.
That was a happy day 10 years ago when that first accreditation came through. We worked
Yeah.
really hard on it.
Quite an accomplishment,
It was a lot of work getting there.
yeah.
On grants, we did submit an application to SEMCOG for a planning assistance program for two electric vehicle chargers, but we did not receive that award. There is a mini grant available through the Michigan Municipal League that we're exploring. Applications are due by July 24th. In other news, we are waiting for the official notification on achieving the redevelopment-ready community status. Elizabeth King from the Michigan Economic Development Corp. is tentatively scheduled, has asked to be on the council agenda for the 16th to make that presentation. Also, another big thing, a couple years in the planning and making, so that's good. And then we have some talk about dumpsters. We did get on the south
Some talk about what?
dumpsters.
Oh, dumpsters.
This
The northeast
municipal
corner?
Dumpsters, yeah, the northeast corner, I say southeast. Northeast corner has a new dumpster in place outside of the enclosure just to temporarily try it out and see if that eases the problem. And then that's a short-term solution, and we'll look at long-term solutions as far as, is that where the enclosure should be? Should it be, definitely going to be a bigger size? And if it needs to be in a different place, things to be explored. Right now,
We still have a dumpster on the other corner that's on, other parking lot that's unenclosed.
I know, 2 of them. Yeah, we got opposite corners and then opposite corners that don't. I know.
That one behind the limbs, that's not enclosed either.
Yeah, that's not a municipal dumpster.
I know.
That dumpster's gone.
They've got one there now just for construction.
They've got one in the alley, but
Yeah, but
the
they-
dumpster behind Limbs that was there and undumped for such a long time
It's gone, yeah.
is finally gone. I think you
Right,
were
called the
instrumental
company.
in that and appreciated.
Does that mean there
But
will
there's
be
a city
another?
dumpster behind, in the back corner there.
Yes.
That's not enclosed. Limbs will probably, as part of their site plan, put in a dumpster which will then require to be
Enclosed.
enclosed.
Got it.
The dumpster on the southwest side, we know isn't big enough, and Tringali is evaluating that to decide if they need to just get a bigger one in there or pick up more. So I will talk to him hopefully, well, I will talk to him this week. Hopefully I can get a hold of him today.
And if anyone's curious, we've pursued Saturday pickups unsuccessfully with Tringali.
Yeah.
Which would make a huge difference if we could have weekend pickups for the restaurants.
Yeah.
But
They
I think,
don't- they
I
don't
think
work
with the
on
current
weekend.
labor situation, it's probably impossible to try to push them for that.
I know the northeast corner is picking up 3 times a week, maybe 4. What about the other 3 corners? Are they going to those corners as well?
Well, that's what I just said, on the southwest one, which is behind Whiskey Taco, there, that is a smaller dumpster. It's one of the rear pickup ones, and they're
Oh.
evaluating whether they want to put in a larger one or just go, twice a week or more to that one. So that's why I say I hope to be talking to Dom Tringali and find out what they decided.
Yeah, the small ones are like a 3-yard, right?
6, I
3-yard
think.
dumpster, maybe 6, yeah, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, he's going to look at that and decide what they're going to do there. So hopefully we will move forward on it. The one in the southeast corner, even though the grill is not open, that dumpster is filling up a lot. And that is the largest dumpster they carry. So again, Dominic's looking at that to determine, do they need to pick up more? I think the problem we have in that one, and all of them occasionally, is
Dumping.
other people dumping.
Yep.
Because it was construction equipment. When it's construction stuff and paint cans like Sam saw in there last time, and landscaping things that sometimes get dumped on the west corner, then we know that's not coming from the businesses.
Right.
So, anyway, it's something that we're continuing to work on. So, that's it.
Joan, is the idea of, if there's a lot of illegal dumping, is there possibility of a camera out of the question?
I don't know.
We actually just installed a camera at Whiskey that overlooks the dumpster.
Yeah.
Just for that reason alone, and then just parking lot in general. So it has a pretty wide overview. We had some truck hit one of the brick walls, and we didn't have any, no one had footage of that, so we ended up having to do that. And then we had somebody else hit the stop sign there, so it was one of
Right.
those, we just put that in to kind of help out, hopefully. But we'll see how that goes.
Well, perhaps we could talk to the other businesses neighboring the other dumpsters and see if we can put cameras on them, and then when awful stuff shows up in there, we could
Yeah.
do a little review. And I think that and a sign might make a definite difference.
Yeah,
Hopefully good enough cameras to get the license plate numbers,
yeah.
Yeah, that's the
right?
rub.
Okay?
As far as I know, it's still a $500 fine for dumping if
But you gotta catch 'em.
catch somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know of any business that wants to run out there and do that, but cameras would be nice.
But we could report it to the police and give them the license number, and the police could send them a letter and let them know they've been at least
Sure,
caught.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, if you can get the license number, that'd be awesome.
Yep.
So
What else?
That's all I have for report.
Thank you. How about a city manager report?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Mayor, Chair, members of the DDA. Joe Raker, City Manager. Last time I was before you, I believe, was my first month in March. And since then, we've had some issues as far as the financials and coming to a common understanding internally with the Finance Director and the DDA Director. To Joan's credit, she has been a staunch advocate for the DDA and her understanding of the financial situation. There is a discrepancy that stems from the tax roll reporting back as far as April, and as recently we are discovering and believe that it may be as far as August. This is creating a discrepancy that can range from, it looks like $4,000. It could be as much as $8,000. And so as recently as last week, we were able to have a conference call with County Treasury Department. We've gotten some greater fidelity on that. However, this week we had a meeting with staff, and the agreement was we would then again engage the county to come to a total understanding because at this time there is a discrepancy, a disagreement as far as where the financials are at, to the tune of about $4,000. Once we get that cleared up, I can bring all that clarity to the DDA for your explanation and for your understanding as far as where you sit financially.
We would appreciate that.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
been a long time since we've been comfortable spending any money because we do have a fiduciary duty to keep that budget correct, and being unable to get the right information for our budget for so many months has been a real problem for this board.
Yes, and not to make excuses, but the explanation, the finance director has really been doing kind of double duty in a lot of the capacities in regards to the Treasury Department. So I'm confident we will have some solid numbers and a logical explanation for your consideration, should you find it acceptable to have a special meeting, or if you simply want some other method of communication.
Well, I think you'll see lower on the new business. We are planning to schedule a special meeting because it's gone on for such a long time. We really would like to get it straightened out,
Yes, ma'am.
and because it's been kind of ridiculous.
I would agree. However, there's a disagreement, and it's the advocacy of both professionals with their understanding, and we'll get to the bottom of it
Okay.
with the assistance of the county.
What else?
Joan actually covered a lot of it. Since my tenure here, you guys have actually gotten that gate up. I guess that gate hadn't been up for quite some time, the actual sign, the metal sign in the alley there. And I just
Joan
kinda-
deserves a big vote of applause for that one.
Yeah.
I would agree. It's been sitting in the DPW for years, apparently, from what I was told. So, coordination with staff and focusing on what's important, not just to any one department, but I mean the community as a whole. So what I'm trying to do is get some equitable wins for all stakeholders in the community, whether it's neighborhoods, the downtown, working with businesses, the library, school district, and that one seemed like a real logical one, like why wasn't that gate up and taken care of? So we got that over the goal line, and right now the focus is trying to crack the code on the dumpsters. That hygiene, public hygiene is a big issue. People talk about rats. And so the mayor and I met with a large stakeholder earlier this month, and that was a provocation to get the other dumpster over there. And so this is not going to be something that's going to be corrected overnight. I mean, because when you start tugging at the string on that sweater, it's like, all right, it's dumpster enclosure, it's dumpster size, it's dumpster frequency, it's dumpster location, it's parking lot resurfacing, parking lot reconfiguration, all those things taken into consideration. And so there's a lot there, but the most immediate important thing was to respond to public health, and that was to get another dumpster over there so that we can mitigate that issue.
Is there any way the city would be able to install cameras on those dumpsters or on a pole rather than businesses? I know it's nice that the businesses do that, but it seems to be self-help
Sure.
kind of thing to have the city get a quality camera on each dumpster in each quadrant.
And that in each
to
location.
help ourselves.
I'll look into that, working with the police chief, and see what we can come up with.
Yeah.
That then adds to the variables of reconfiguration and just what I talked about with the parking
Sure.
lots and the.
Sure.
So deterring the dumping, which I visited the dumpsters on many occasions, and it's like, I don't think this stuff is coming out of some of these businesses. So, and then part of it too is managing and working with the businesses so that they understand. One of the things that we discovered in Jones working with Tringali was that oftentimes the employees don't use the back dumpster. They use the first dumpster. And it's like, all right, that is going to take some invasive management and leadership on behalf of business owners.
Oh, yeah.
And so, we're not going to use a stick. We're going to use, information and coordination and communication so that, we correct this problem. So, but your request or suggestion, I will run it up the flagpole and see what we can do most immediately, but it definitely will now become part of the long-term solution.
Right.
Well, my guess is garbage isn't going away anytime soon.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes,
Do you have
ma'am.
anything else for us?
No, ma'am.
Well, it's nice to see you here. We've missed having a city manager presence at our DDA meetings.
I will do my best to improve my attendance.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Dine Clausen.
All right. Pretty quiet month. We did have the Cinema in the Streets. Lucky Duck was great. They came out and put out bags so we could actually play bags while the event was going on. Whiskey Tackle Foxtrot sponsored karaoke. And then we had a whole bunch of sponsors for the event itself, which I think was great to kind of see that kind of come out. Next events that we have coming up, obviously the car show. I think that's a good opportunity to kind of do some stuff and highlight the social district. We'll be discussing that in our next meeting that we have on Tuesday the 2nd, I believe. And then the other big event, Clausen Fest, which seems to be coming together pretty quickly. One of the things that Joan and I got to meet with Sean on that one and kind of finalize some of the details and all that. But it looks like they've got a lot of traffic going on already with a lot of the local businesses. So that's all I got.
Yeah, Sean's done a great job on that. The response to Clausen Fest this year has been
Amazing.
huge.
Yeah. Every day I wake up to another little post of this is sponsoring. Here's a highlight of this business. I'm like, this is great. So.
And just to say, on the cinema, we did come out, ahead in our accounting by a little over $100. So,
Nice.
again, another one paid for fully by sponsorships, so.
Yeah, it was nicely attended as well.
Yeah.
And a beautiful night. Oh,
Yeah, I'll be honest and say I'm old. I have no idea what that movie was about. But apparently the kids loved it and the families loved it, and that's the main thing. That's what it's for.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Landscaping. Oh, I'm sorry. Did we finish
Well,
Clausen
if we were
Fest?
to, on Clausen Fest, we do need to meet with Sean, and I did
Yeah.
have a meeting with him and the other Sean, both of them that are chairing this particular event. And it has grown from last year. They're going to need more room in the parking lot, so I've got to do some arranging there. They did get a stage this year from Oakland County, which really does kind of help up their presence a lot.
Yeah.
So very grassroots last year, and this year they've really worked hard to bring it even further. And we'll probably have to talk, we're going to have a meeting right after that and decide how it's going to go next year.
Yep.
You know, is there a,
I suggested that we get the Clausen Fest people and DDA together the week after Clausen Fest while everybody still remembers what works and what didn't work and talk about, begin the planning for next year so that we can help Sean with it more than we did this year.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
well, he's the chair of that particular committee, and he's taken it and run with it.
He's been
The two of them,
fabulous.
So that's good. I mean, he and I meet, but they haven't needed a lot of additional stuff, which is great, but we'll have to plan for next year and decide if it continues. I see that it's going to continue to grow and how we want to manage that.
Can I get some information for Sean or whoever to kind of see if our development or our tenants can, sponsor and participate in that event?
Oh, yeah, you can absolutely do, just let me know. I'll put you in touch. There is
Sean will answer you off of Facebook in a heartbeat.
they're doing a lot of, I set them up with a PayPal, and it's on our website too, under the Clausen Fest thing, the PayPal account is there, so if you want to do something.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we pop back to cinema real quick?
Yeah.
There's some things that we saw regarding social district for that.
Yeah.
People buying the social district cups and coming out of Whiskey Taco
Yeah.
and then pouring them into your metal containers and then throwing the cups away. So I don't know how we can police that, if we can police it, or if it's just
I would suggest we watch the movie.
educational stuff.
Which, metal
Right.
containers, the
Your
Keep cold containers? Yeah.
cans.
yeah.
So the ones that we put outside, for the most part, were all the 12-ounce ones, because that's, we can't sell anything
It was
over
just-
16.
It's just something
And
that
then we tried to make
saw.
sure the stickers were on all of those, too,
Okay.
because that was we can't sell the big can, which we make sure we just don't put the social stickers on that one, so we'll sell the little can, and then we sell the cup as well, but the little cans have the stickers on them as well as the
But at an
cups.
event like that, there's really no way to police people putting
Yeah.
things into cups that will keep them colder.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that we should just not
And it's once a year where we.
worry
close the
about that
street
once a
for
year.
Probably
Yeah,
not
it was just,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, because
Good-
We
good
tried to
have
make sure that
observations.
we were on the up and up, because just with the event being like that, I don't want to be the one that spoils the whole pot, because,
As long as our bars are sending them out the door the way
Yeah.
they're supposed to go, it'd just be very difficult to have any kind of policing for that sort of activity.
yeah,
I just wanted us to be aware of it in case
absolutely.
something happened, because they'll take those beyond the social district boundaries.
Yeah,
And that we can police and do something about, when that one day where they're in the street, when the street's closed.
Yeah.
And we kind of say the social district's on both sidewalks, so for this few hours, it's going to encompass this area of
Right.
yeah.
the cinema area. But I haven't heard of anybody being caught walking out
Yeah.
of the district. I don't think we have that kind of traffic either, so.
Do we even have that kind of policing?
I
Do
think
we
it's
have-
During
self-policing.
events, they do walk,
Do
around
they?
on it, yeah.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was the first, kind of the spring fair, when we had that one, they were walking up and down and
great.
watching it. I know it was still kind of a new thing at that time, but,
Right.
I think they were pretty good about making sure people were there, and at least it's the presence of them.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is great.
That's fantastic, all right.
It's something that's going to grow. Charlie and Lucky Duck probably have a decent presence right now, a little bit at Tavern. I know Mary Liz on her end doesn't see as much, but
She's not as much of a partier as
I
the
am
rest
not,
of them.
no. Never been known for parties or special activities.
Right,
We keep it very low key at Whiskey Taco, just very.
Yeah, you were Do you all know that Whiskey Taco raised almost $2,000 for Gilda's Club on Saturday night with their drag event?
Good job.
And for a very small fee, which I'll donate to Gilda's, I will show you pictures of Charlie, which was some kind of special.
I've got some right here.
That's what,
I'm just glad there's not a slideshow today.
yeah.
Okay, is that it for Clausen Fest?
That is that.
Yep.
Then we just have landscaping, which, thank you, Paula, for helping water. The flowers have lived. We're in good shape. They have gone past they've settled in. So I think we're good, what with rain happening and whatever. God will take care of them at this point. Then it comes to banners. We were going to put up those spring flower banners, and now that the committee is suggesting that we not go forward with those because it's end of July, it would be August before we got our spring flowers up, and then they'd be coming down in 2 months for fall.
Yeah.
So the board did set a budget and agree to purchase those, so I don't know if we need a motion to not go forward, but it's not that it's been dropped. I took that, as we've done in the past, we approved buying 12 and took the request to the city to do the other 12, which is what we've the normal practice, but they would prefer to put up police and fire banners in honor of their 100th anniversary. So again, separately, the landscaping committee is saying, I don't think we need spring banners anymore.
I think we definitely need to plan for the spring banners for next spring, because I think that we are once again going to be unable to do flowers. So I think we need to see that kind of brightness and levity. But we'll get it going when we have a budget, so we're comfortable spending any money. We'll get it going, so we'll have the spring banners at that time. And just in case anybody doesn't know, the light posts in the DDA were all paid for by the DDA. And the point of those banners is to promote and to define the downtown district of Clausen. So it's very important that we keep, while part of the whole city, we keep a differentiation so that people know for sure they're in the downtown who spends all this money to promote it. Yes?
Madam Chair, on that note then, if we could discuss what the willingness of the DDA would be to host the 100th anniversary celebration of the police and fire departments in your boundaries. What is your willingness to host those?
Well, we would certainly have some of them. We cannot lose all of the DDA
Sure.
branding.
Sure.
I mean, that's absolutely essential to our mission.
Okay.
And I think that we could host them for the next couple of months, but when spring comes, we're going to need to go
Sure.
back to what we usually
Understood.
have. We have never done Christmas banners or holiday or seasonal ones, although we've talked about it. So we don't have a real thing to put in there right now. So I would say that we'd be fine for a while, which would be a nice, hello to the police and the fire. But then when we get the other ones in, they'll have to come down.
Okay, so I'll work with Joan then as far as locations within the DDA and
Uh-huh.
quantity.
Does anybody
Okay.
want to make a,
No, that's fine. Support police and
Okay.
fire.
absolutely.
great.
And support the DDA.
Sure.
Thank you.
Ally?
Ally, the committee, I think we're meeting again tonight over at the Alley to look at, we've decided on some artwork. We need to look at size, get some drawings done, some CAD type drawings, so that I can take that to a company to get the artwork cut out of steel. They would like to buy tables and chairs, very much. We have found some, the little bistro tables and chairs, they're really only $120 a set. But we just haven't felt that we can go forward with any kind of purchase. So hopefully, real quickly, we get that settled so that they can make some purchases there. I've had one of our committee members, one of the residents, said he's, walked around last weekend, 2 weekends ago, and there are people wandering. They've got their social district cup. They'd like to sit down and, the lights are going to be coming on because the lights are up now in the alley and we're going to highlight it and there's nowhere to sit. We will probably try to ask the DPW if they can pick out a couple benches for now that are not being used on the street, ones that are in a, not really a good traffic area, and temporarily move those in for seating. Other than that, that's it. We're just seating and artwork. And like I say, the arch is up and the lights are up, so
Is there,
two big steps.
Joan, is there like an option to do like the park benches or the picnic tables at the Clausen Park and move a couple of those to the alley for at least a temporary
It's
fix?
not really looking all that good.
No.
And, yeah,
Okay.
I think the bistro tables and chairs are not that expensive,
Yeah.
and they're used.
Are they going to hold up at $125?
I've checked with a couple other DDAs, because I've seen those used in downtowns before, like Campus Martius even has that same kind of table and chair. The chairs, according to their specs, say they hold 300 pounds.
For how long?
I don't know. It did not give a time limit.
Bill
It
Kelly
just
wants to
said,
know that.
Wait.
Oh.
So,
I just would be concerned that we really research that they're going to be sturdy
Yes.
enough and pay $250 if it's a one-season thing. And often, things like that are available, this virtually identical looking thing is available at several different
yes,
quality levels.
yes. Yeah, well, I think, we pulled up four different vendors. So we did have a range, and they did provide their specs.
How many tables are you thinking about?
We're just thinking like 4 sets, four right now, which
Well,
would
would
give
it
us
help
8
if
chairs
someone
and 4
sponsored
tables.
them?
Sure.
So we could get them in, since we cannot buy them now without a budget?
Right, right.
Well, we'll see if we can find some form of sucker. Let's talk later.
I'll sponsor one. I'll sponsor one set, but how do you guarantee they don't get picked up and taken to someone's
That's
backyard?
another very good question.
That's what I'd be worried
Cannot
about.
I know.
Guaranteed.
Well, back when we did the streetscape and Greenway Collaborative did it, they even suggested back then that we use this kind of seating because people like to be able to pull out a chair or move it and not be, here's where your bench is, you must sit here. And again, they're used in a lot of downtowns, they're in a lot of social districts, and they're in Campus Martius, and they are not finding that they pick up and leave.
The theft of public amenity stuff in Clausen is so low. All of us, well, not all of us, but several of us here have tables outside. We have heaters. I've got 4 heaters behind our building where somebody could easily snatch them. We don't lose the stuff that we put in our planter boxes. We don't lose the tables and chairs. Puma Chug has them. Almost no one secures their patio stuff, and it does not seem to leave.
It shouldn't, but.
It shouldn't, but,
Right.
but just historically here, when we first opened the store, we'd put stuff out in the planters and drag it all in at night, until finally one night I said, let them take it, I'm too tired.
Yeah.
And really, we've got valuable stuff in our planters, and it just doesn't get stolen. So I think it's always a risk, but we shouldn't worry about it too much.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's always a risk.
But if it
to-
will help,
to
Leon,
chain them down takes away the whole thing of having them be where you can move and sit where you want to, so.
but Leon and Lulu will sponsor 4 sets of tables and chairs.
I'll take one.
There you
That's
go.
awesome. Yeah, they come in nice, bright colors. They'll look happy sitting in there. And that's what, boy, this is going to be one happy committee meeting tonight.
Excellent.
I was thinking of something
Tell them to
else,
come
by
drink
the way.
heavily at 3 Cats.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, boy. Because we're doing and getting all these improvements in our alley and the artwork and such, I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe we should have a different name for our alley, like a walkway.
Does that mean a new sign?
Maybe upgrade the name?
No.
Or Clausen's alleyway or something? Is that where we're going?
I never
I'm
thought
wondering
of
if
it.
alley is, the
Rather-
name we're
you'd
really
rather it be
looking for.
walkway? The downtown walk? That doesn't really work either.
Yeah,
Why
I
don't we
just
take
throwing
that
it out
as
there.
a suggestion, and people could suggest other names for it?
There you go.
And in the meantime, we will continue to dally in the alley as they do in
Dally
Detroit.
in the alley. Well,
Oh, and I know, Bill, you had asked last time about the drain, the trench drain.
Yeah.
And that is something the DPW is aware of. Hartwell, the company that put it in, is not in the city this summer working, but they will be in the fall, and that's when Trevor will have them look at the problem.
and who made the decision on that drain? Is that Hartwell?
It
Or-
was done with engineering, and then Hartwell installed it. We had 3 engineers out there one day, along with the
City engineer?
contractor. Yeah,
Involved in that as well?
yeah. So there were a lot of people out there.
My concern
Looking at
is
that.
the drain is so small. I mean, it should have been a 6-inch drain,
I don't know.
in my view.
I don't know.
And,
I think it
which
was
is
the depth
why we're
that's-
having the issue. It's not big enough.
Yeah. So anyway, they're gonna look
Hopefully
at
their
it.
cost will,
They'll look at it this fall before winter and see if
Yeah.
it can get it to not freeze this winter.
Okay. Now, shall we have a consideration of a special meeting to discuss the budget on August 3rd?
Of course.
yeah.
Would someone care to make a motion?
I will make that motion.
Thank you, Paula.
You're welcome.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you very much. Sam? All in favor of a special budget meeting, oh boy, another meeting on Wednesday, August 3rd at 8 a.m., right here?
Aye.
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 And it will be ready for that meeting.
We hope so. And if it is not ready for that meeting, we will reschedule once again. But I think even with the shortage of help at City Hall, that they're going to get it together and we'll have all the information that we need.
Well, I'm talking with the county treasurer this afternoon. We spoke briefly yesterday, but we're going to go over numbers this afternoon.
Well, I believe we've been talking with county. The numbers themselves were well-known for months as to what it should be. And for some reason, the disconnect, once it gets in the neighborhood, is,
That's what we're trying to fix, is the disconnect. I've got a set of numbers that the county gave me that they said is correct. The city has finance director has some different numbers, so we're like $4,000 off on the year end. We're quite a
that's
bit
probably
off
just
on the
applied to
coming
the
year.
brownfield, right? 4,000?
The brownfield is yet to be determined, so that's what I'm gonna go over this afternoon. So, but it's next year where there's a real impact, and just trying to straighten that out.
Yeah.
Because thankfully, to this nice project that we have over on East 14 Mile, we've had a nice tax collection jump. So we should have given what the county gave me already on what next year's is, we're gonna be in a little better spot next year to do some purchasing and make some changes, so.
And thanks to you for doing the accounting outside of your,
Well,
Responsibilities.
Kind of the job for the DDA is to keep
I agree.
track of our
Yeah.
finances.
Okay. So we'll have the meeting on August 3rd. Do we have any comments from anybody on the board?
I just have a question. If someone wanted to make a donation to the DDA, an individual, how would they do so?
A check?
Yeah.
Cash?
No, but I mean, to whom?
Paul
And then,
Jones.
like, would
Any
it just go
donations-
towards anything? Because I just had someone ask me that.
Any donations to the DDA just got made to the Clausen DDA?
Okay.
And we can accept PayPal, we can accept checks.
Well, PayPal, yes, we can do both of those. Checks are really better, we pay to use PayPal, but it goes into the sponsorship revenue fund. If somebody wants it targeted, like we do for the cinema, where the businesses pay for, technically, they're paying for advertising, so that definitely goes onto that accounting. Our events are specific, and because we have to make those cash positive, or at least come out even.
So that a person could donate to a specific event. If a person wished to donate to something like new banners or whatever, just call Joan, and we can help that money go exactly where he or she wants it to go.
And we would make sure that then they are recognized. So that's another, I've done a lot of work restructuring the website on the city side for building and planning. I got to get back to the DDA one and update some things and work on our sponsorship program. So I'm meeting with Bonnie this week because we have some sponsorship things to give out. But I will put that on the website. We do have something on there, it probably does need to be updated.
But the shorter
Definitely.
answer is, it's easy to give money to the DDA, and we accept it cheerfully
Yes.
good.
and gratefully,
Yes.
Cheerfully and gratefully are really nice.
Yes.
and not
absolutely.
frequently enough.
Yeah, and that's part of our sponsorship program that we started, is to make sure that we recognize people. So doing maybe a Facebook post with people who have sponsored something, if they're residents, do you want to be a downtown neighbor? We have a downtown neighbors program that we still have to kick off. So, if you're a downtown neighbor, we would list you on our website. So we do appreciate any donations, and yes, gratefully and happily.
And then Cinema in the Streets was amazing. I missed the Frozen T-shirt contest, such a bummer, but you guys did a great job, and I know it's so much work, and I just wanted to say thank you, because there were so many happy faces, and you had perfect weather, so that was like a
We sure did.
perfect win. And I sat on one of the nicely painted benches.
Aren't they beautiful?
They're
I
nice,
really am waiting for Troy Engel. That was an Eagle Scout that did all of our benches, and we can't thank them enough, or too many times to, it's always good to mention it again. They look wonderful. So Troy Engel, their Scout master, helped. The Eagle Scout, his job was to administrate all of it and get it done, but Troy helped do a lot of the work, and so did Gills Collision with loaning out their painting booth and doing some of the paintings. So it's a great community that comes together to get work done.
The fun thing was watching them try to pick them up.
Oh, they're heavy.
Yeah. That was good
They are
entertainment.
they're
That was
very-
great entertainment that afternoon.
Yeah, it takes 4 strong men, or finally they're heavy.
Wow.
I have moved them around. I can only grab them and drag them a few inches at a time. Troy finally came up with a system of some sort of dolly that he put together
really?
so they could get it on there and wheel it, but, yeah, so that's, talk to him or DPW about getting a couple moved into the alley for now. But they're nice and shiny and no rust.
Anything
They
else,
look
Paula?
amazing.
No, thank you.
The only public comment was the gentleman who came this morning to inquire about the clock,
Ken?
which is moving at a glacial pace, but it is moving.
Yeah, yes. The girls who did the fundraising we're closing that out. They raised the money through the foundation. We need to close out their account at the foundation. They're going to turn it over to the DDA. And the gentleman that they were talking to that was local, that was going to do the repairs, is no longer answering his phone. So I had gotten 2 quotes earlier from 2 different clock companies, one in Kalamazoo, I can't remember offhand where the other one was. And if he doesn't answer, then I guess I will, because guess the DDA is now going to be taking over getting the repair done. So I'll be, find out this week where that stands, and I'll try to attempt to get a hold of this gentleman again and see if I have any luck, but if not, they based their fundraising on the 2 quotes I had gotten anyway, so. Okay, go from there. Hopefully, we get that going this year.
Have we missed anything that anyone would like to add? Joe, do you have anything?
No, ma'am.
All right, may I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll give you a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Is there, that's the
second that.
slowest adjournment motion ever. Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being prompt. That was wonderful.
You weren't even close to that.